Let's take a deeper dive into how the Voice debate has played out in the state of Victoria. I'm actually joining you live from Melbourne today, and joining me in the studio here is Reece, the Deputy Lord Mayor of Melbourne, and Michael Croker, the former Victoria Liberal Party President. Michael, Nick, good to see you both. Nick, I wanted to start with you because I understand there's been a bit of a hiccup when it comes to one booth in the city of Melbourne. We have some video that we can show our viewers of very long waiting lines. Why did that happen? Why were the queues so long?
Thanks, Ash. Look, it's more than one booth, unfortunately. The Australian Electoral Commission did not establish a polling booth in the central business district of Melbourne. Melbourne CBD is the biggest CBD in the country, also has tens of thousands of people who reside there, and because there hasn't been a polling booth set up at Town Hall or one of the other options that were available, it has meant that those people have had to move to other booths close to the city, such as Docklands or such as South Bank. I was down at Docklands this morning. The queue there was over 2 hours. Actually, I've just come from South Bank where the queue's at least an hour and a half. We can all have a debate about the Voice and whether you're yes or no, but one thing surely we all agree on is that the administration of the voting process in a democracy should be carried out well, and it's been a real fail here in Melbourne, particularly considering we have compulsory voting in this country. So we want to make it as easy as possible to cast their vote, but yeah, we've got long queues in Melbourne because they haven't had that booth in the CBD. OK, yeah, it sounds like a real oversight there, one that the AEC will no doubt be asked questions about in the coming days and weeks. Michael, I want to get your view of where things are at in the state of Victoria. What is your expectation of what sort of result we'll see tonight?
Well, I think the vote will be defeated here in Victoria, as it will be in pretty well everywhere. Look, the Yes campaign have worked incredibly hard over the last week. There may be a tick up from their vote. They've plundered a lot of money into the campaign before the blackout, etc. Albo's been out there every day, and you know, when the Prime Minister's telling you something's the right thing to do, that influences a lot of people, obviously. So they've probably done better in the last week than the No campaign, but still this referendum will be defeated as it should be. I mean, to permanently divide this country by race is not the way to go.
Well, obviously, Nick Reece has a different view on that. He's in the studio wearing the Yes T-shirt today. Nick, how close do you think it's going to end up?
Look, the polls are not looking good, but I remain optimistic. I was just at my daughter's netball game and I had my Yes T-shirt on, and I had lots of people coming up and saying, you know, good on you and wishing me well. I've also spent a lot of hours handing out how-to votes, and look, the feeling's been pretty good out there. You know, I've read some reports about, you know, tensions being high on polling booths. I haven't seen that, which is good. I think that's a great thing about our democracy. Had a few people, you know, say gruffly refusing to take yes material. Had one fella say to me, oh, you know, they're going to take our backyards. But overall, I think the mood of what I've seen has been pretty good. And look, I'm still remaining optimistic that we will get a positive outcome tonight and that Australian people will vote for yes. And, you know, yes gives us hope. Yes gives us a chance to really take a step forward in terms of advancing the interests of Indigenous people in our country.
Yeah, Michael, when we look at the behaviour on the voting booths today, there had been some concerns that there might be some tension flare up on the booths. Our reporters who have been right across the country certainly haven't been picking up on that. They're reporting that most people are heading in, they know what they want to do. They're really not engaging much from many of the reports in terms of with either the Yes or the No campaign. A lot of people obviously have made up their mind by this point after so much debate in recent weeks. Not many democracy sausages as well, by the sound of it. Anecdotally, I know that friends I know, you know, on their local schools, Parents' Council have been saying that they actually didn't want to get involved. They were also worried that it could end up being a divisive situation and that they weren't going to get the P&C of schools involved in it. So that's an interesting side point. But when it comes to the Prime Minister tonight, Michael, what sort of message do you expect to see from him if it is what the polls are saying and it's a no vote? How much political capital do you think the Prime Minister has spent on this?
Well, I think he spent a lot because he's been so fervent about it for so long, and he's ignored cost of living issues, and that's you know very clear from his own polling and from the polling of the Yes campaign, where people basically think that there are other issues as well that are important for the Prime Minister's time. So his message tonight has to be very clear, which is that he accepts the view of the public, presuming it's a no vote, that is. He's got to recommit the government back onto cost of living issues and not in any way, shape or form try and implement the voice through the parliament, given that the referendum's been rejected. This is a most unusual situation. I mean, John Howard didn't really campaign in '99 in relation to the Republic, even though he was the Prime Minister. Anthony Albanese has gone full bore on this, and if it's overwhelmingly rejected, he's got to lose quite a bit of skin, and that's something he's got to recover from.